Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating and, well, honestly, quite concerning cyber fraud case. It stretches right across India. We're talking about an operation so vast, so cunning, it managed to snatch just a staggering amount of money from hundreds and hundreds of victims. So what we really want to do today, our mission if you like, is to unpack exactly how this intricate scam worked. We'll be zeroing in on the methods they used, looking at the alleged mastermind behind it all, and crucially exploring the really pivotal role that cryptocurrency played. I mean, its role in enabling this kind of large-scale financial crime is often underestimated, I think. Get ready for some pretty eye-opening facts and insights here, stuff that's really relevant for all of us navigating the digital world.
That's exactly it. This isn't just, another crime story. It's actually a critical case study. It helps us understand the ever-evolving landscape of digital crime, of illicit activity online. And it raises some really fundamental questions for every single one of us, doesn't it? About vigilance, about security, and frankly, just about how we interact with technology and our money online.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's unpack the sheer scale of this operation first. It is truly mind-boggling. We're talking about an alleged 3.2 crore siphoned off from victims. That's a huge amount. And like you said, it wasn't just one area. This network apparently duped hundreds of people across, get this, 11 Indian states.
Right.
Just imagine that reach. States like Delhi, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh. They were all impacted. And the alleged mastermind behind this whole racket, a man named Raja Babu, was finally arrested in Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. His arrest has definitely sent some ripples through the cybercrime world, which, that's a significant win.
A definite win, yes. It shows these operations aren't untouchable.
Right. So here's where it gets really interesting, I think. How did they actually manage to pull this off on such a scale? Well, it seems the main tactics, the scams they used, were surprisingly common ones, yet devastatingly effective. We're talking fake job offers and these fraudulent investment schemes.
Exactly. And what's crucial to understand here is how these seemingly common scams work so well. They often start with something that looks totally legitimate, maybe even quite appealing, right? A great job, a high return investment. They're leveraging really basic human desires, the need for a job, the hope for a quick financial gain just to get their foot in the door. It's often phased. So maybe they trick someone into paying a small fee first or making a tiny test investment.
So building trust initially.
Precisely. That small initial step, if it seems to work out, or if they just create the illusion it worked out, builds this deceptive layer of trust. And then that trust is ruthlessly exploited. They escalate things quickly, guiding victims, often under a lot of pressure and using false promises, to part with much, much larger sums of money. Once you're in that deep, psychologically, it becomes incredibly hard for victims to pull back or see the red flags.
Wow. So it's basically a classic con game, just updated for the internet age. And it sounds like cryptocurrency was absolutely central to making the money vanish. Can you maybe walk us through how it gave them such a critical escape route?
You got it. That's the key part. Once they extracted the money from the victims, it was very quickly transferred into foreign crypto wallets. This step is crucial because it immediately creates this exceptionally difficult cross-border digital trail. It severely hampers the usual ways authorities trace and recover funds.
Right.
Raja Babu himself apparently confessed to this. He described how the funds were first diverted through multiple mule accounts.
Okay, what are mule accounts exactly?
They're essentially dummy bank accounts. Often set up using stolen or fake identities, they act as intermediaries.
Got it. Like waypoints.
Exactly. Waypoints to muddy the waters before the final step. Conversion into cryptocurrency. And the choice to use foreign crypto platforms was very strategic. It was specifically to get around domestic regulations, domestic oversight, because many foreign platforms might have, shall we say, less strict know your customer or KYC requirements, making it much harder to link a specific digital wallet address back to a real person.
Right. That makes sense. But what's fascinating here is how cyber criminals are exploiting crypto more and more. I mean, you always hear about blockchain being transparent, don't you? Every transaction recorded. So it seems a bit counterintuitive that crypto could be used to hide funds. Could you explain that paradox for us?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and it confuses a lot of people. So yes, the blockchain is transparent. Every single transaction is publicly recorded. That's true. But it's also pseudonymous.
Pseudonymous?
Yeah.
Meaning?
Meaning you see the transaction going from wallet address A to wallet address B. You see the amounts, the timestamps. It's all there. But you don't automatically see the real-world identity attached to address A or address B. It's not like a bank account with a name, address, and ID linked directly in the same system.
Ah, okay. So the link between the digital address and the actual person isn't obvious.
Exactly. Unlike a traditional bank transfer, which leaves a clear audit trail within a heavily regulated financial institution, crypto transactions can be much harder to follow back to a person, especially when, as in this case, they route funds through multiple wallets, maybe use mixers which tumble coins together, and then land them in exchanges in jurisdictions with weak regulations or that don't cooperate easily with foreign law enforcement.
Mixers, wow. Okay, so more layers of obfuscation.
Right, so identifying the real person behind a wallet often requires this complex web of legal requests like MLATs, mutual legal assistance treaties sent to international exchanges. And as I mentioned, those exchanges vary wildly in their KYC practices and their willingness or ability to respond.
So it just complicates everything enormously for investigators.
Massively. It turns what might have been a relatively straightforward theft investigation into this huge global puzzle. It really highlights the broader challenge we face in regulating digital assets in such an interconnected world.
Yeah, you can really see that. But, this operation wasn't just about the criminals being clever. It was also a story of some pretty dedicated cyber sleuthing, wasn't it? The cybercrime unit didn't just give up. They apparently acted on multiple complaints. And they used specific tracking methods. They were following suspicious transaction patterns, tracing IP addresses.
Those digital fingerprints.
Exactly, the unique identifiers for devices online. And all this meticulous work eventually led them to pinpoint Raja Babu's location there in Bareilly. His arrest wasn't just luck. It was a coordinated operation. Local police, cyber specialists, all working together. Real teamwork.
Which is essential in these cases.
Totally. And during the arrest, they found loads of stuff, right? Numerous mobile phones, tons of SIM cards, various digital devices, basically the whole toolkit for running these cybercrimes.
Yeah, the standard kit for these kinds of operations. And finding that is crucial evidence.
Definitely.
But this also raises that important point about what happens next, right? How do authorities continue the fight, especially when the crime scene is partly digital and crosses borders? The investigation is clearly still ongoing. They're working to freeze any linked bank accounts they can find.
The traditional money trail.
Right.
Yeah.
But because so much of the money was laundered through crypto, they also have to try and work with these international crypto exchanges. They need to request cooperation to track where those digital assets went and ideally recover them.
Which sounds challenging.
It is very challenging. This isn't just a local Indian problem anymore. It really underscores the truly global nature of these crimes. It shows why international collaboration between law enforcement agencies is absolutely necessary. Without that kind of joined-up effort, recovering funds from these complex cross-border crypto schemes becomes, well, nearly impossible sometimes.
So bringing it back to our listeners, what does this all mean for you? I mean, this whole deep dive really underlines this growing trend, doesn't it? Cybercriminals exploiting digital currencies more and more. And it highlights just how much complexity this adds to investigations. It makes it tougher for law enforcement, sure, but also much tougher for victims trying to get their money back.
That's right.
So knowing all this, hearing about this case, what's maybe the single most important lesson that you listening now should take away from this?
Yeah, I think that's the core message we need to land on. The key takeaway for you, for everyone listening, is this. Modern scams are incredibly sophisticated. They really are. And the tools criminals use, they're constantly evolving. They're absolutely leveraging new technologies like cryptocurrency. They use it to create these layers of anonymity or pseudonymity, technically, and to make their illicit profits seem to disappear, making them virtually untraceable across different countries. This case is just a very stark reminder. Digital finance offers amazing innovation, no doubt, but it also opens up entirely new frontiers for criminal activity. And that requires all of us, every single user, to be more vigilant, more skeptical, more careful than ever before.
Absolutely. Well, this deep dive has really laid bare the, frankly, astonishing scale of this particular cyber fraud and the ingenious, though obviously illicit, use of cryptocurrency. And yeah, the immense challenges that law enforcement faces trying to track these digital breadcrumbs across the globe.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. This case isn't just about one scam or one criminal group. It's really a preview, I think, of a much bigger picture. It shows how digital assets, while incredibly innovative, are fundamentally forcing us to rethink what security even means, not just on a personal level, like protecting our own accounts, but across our international legal systems, our financial regulations. The future of online safety, really, it hinges on our collective ability to adapt, to understand these new risks, and to, well, step up our vigilance accordingly. Are we keeping pace? That's the question to ponder.